You're watching ITV. Your visions, our voices.
My name is Ratifa Sechema. Your Excellence, you're most welcome. As the young people, the generation they have told you about that is very unstoppable, we are grateful that you've given us this opportunity to come and be with you. I'm not alone, but I'm with a very special, intelligent, brilliant lady that will be introducing herself.
My name is Falda Chirabo, and I'm thrilled to be here to share unstoppable ideas with you and the rest of the panelists.
Exactly. Unstoppable UG is a campaign that was started by Gen Z Ugandans, that generation that clocks it. Yeah. To you who is watching me on TV right now, the difference between the other Civil Cafe podcast editions that have been happening and this one is that Sevo himself is in the building.
Now, when we dive into what Sevo Cafe is, it is actually a podcast which has given young people the opportunity to share constructive information with our leaders of the National Resistance Movement Party, so that we can be able to talk about what has already been achieved, how we can still protect it and to nurture it for the future, because we are the leaders of tomorrow.
Exactly, that is protecting our gains. We are dreamers, wealth creators, hustlers, very innovative people. We are here to change the game. We are the biggest entrepreneurs that the world will ever have. And above all, we are Ugandans. Your Excellency, back then, we used to say, bye, Museveni.
Yeah,
now we say, Museveni, clock it.
Clock it.
On the panelists we have today, the lady you are seeing there is called Atim Olaya, and she is a very brilliant student. Next to her, we have a very big dreamer, Sandra Lian Nabichi, a hustler and a business lady. Your Excellency, the gentleman you are seeing, the king among those queens, is Odokonyero Gerard, a software engineer.
Clock it.
Yeah. I would request the panelists that we have to clock it together. Then we have Nasazi Shakira, a young entrepreneur. I would love to welcome you all that are watching us for the Sevo Cafe edition that is happening in Rwakitura, and Sevo has given us the authority to be in his place and also call him Sevo.
And now we go into the serious conversations that have been baffling our minds as young people, so that we can be able to get answers to them. Because in my tribe, they say, Elisorium Kulu, Ewadugala Ewalaba. So, we would love to welcome our panelists.
Yes, and the panelists are going to be asking those questions. Sevo, we have gone to different places, and the panelists have been hearing the different ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen speaking their questions that have been asking, and now this is the time for them to bring those questions to you on behalf of all the Unstoppable GenZs. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mr. President. I would like to firstly thank you for welcoming us here and hosting us, the Gen Zs, and allowing us to have an educated conversation with you. I would like to start with a question regarding your goals for the economy. Mr. President, you want to do a qualitative leap for the economy from a GDP of 60 billion USD to 500 billion USD by 2040. That's an amazing goal, and I want to know how we, the Gen Zs, can help you make this even more tangible than it is.
Well, for the Gen Z and for all the generations in the last 300 years, you need to know that the economy has 4 sectors. That is where you can find wealth and jobs. The 4 sectors are commercial agriculture. If you produce crops for money as well as for food, you will create wealth and get money and create jobs. Commercial agriculture is of maybe 3 types. You can have the small scale, the 4 acres model, because I had people asking about it. 4 acres model is for the small scale, the ones with small piece of land. And these are the ones we are saying, since you have got a small piece of land, select high value enterprises, and those should be the ones you do in your small area, and you will get good income. And I have got examples of that. I've been showing them on the screens. People earning billions of shillings. Like if you can have time and visit Joseph Ijara of Serere, of Asangwa, of Kamuli, you'll see people earning billions from 2 acres or 2 acres of land. Then you can have medium large scale agriculture, commercial agriculture, because this is where your people were, Africans were behind, because they were producing, but producing only for consumption, for home consumption, or korre chida chonka, only working for the stomach, what they call subsistence. This is the one with the campaign. We want everybody to work for the stomach, but also for the pocket. That's why we say commercial agriculture. So small scale commercial agriculture, 4 acres or less, medium scale, and large scale. There, because you see the country needs all these products. For the small scale, we have recommended 9 enterprises. We have recommended coffee, fruits, small, zero grazing dairy cattle, food crop, piggery, poultry for eggs, fish farming, cocoa, and palm oil. There, even if you have got 1 acre, you will get good money. But then your country needs other crops, needs other products. We need cotton. We need maize. If we don't have cotton, what shall we put on? We need clothes. We need maize, because maize is low value, but needed in all animal feeds, for starch, for industries. We need sugar cane for sugar. We need tobacco, those who want to die from cancer. Those are low value, but needed by the economy. So therefore we need the large scale producers who produce on a large scale, and although they are getting a small per acre, because of scale they get good money. So that is sector 1, which all of you must know, Gen Z or non-Gen Z. This is mandatory. Either you know it or you don't know it, and you are doomed. So this is commercial agriculture. Then the next sector is artisanship and manufacturing and industries. This is where you process all these raw materials in final products. The raw materials we have in Uganda are agricultural raw materials, like the shirt I'm putting on is from the cotton, our cotton here. Then you have the minerals. Like the other day, I commissioned a factory with President Ruto in Tororo about steel. Steel. You GenZ, you must have heard of something called obutare. Obutare, you have never heard of this. Obutare is iron ore.
I was thinking about it.
Very good. Obutare is iron ore. That's why you hear of Butare here in Buweju. There's a place called Butare. You can even hear of Butare in Rwanda. There is something there. It is our word for iron ore, from which we get steel. Steel for so many uses, for dams, for buildings, mitayimbwa, so the mineral-based industries are needed. Then you have knowledge-based industries, knowledge-based, where you don't have the local minerals or the local crops, but you have knowledge. This is where the GenZ can come in. Knowledge, innovation. Computers are, you put a number of things together and you create a product. But all of them under manufacturing. All of them under manufacturing. That is the second sector. Whatever you do, in the last 400 years, this is the path to modernization. Then the third sector is services. Services. Or whereas services like hospitality. Me here, I am a wealth creator. I produce milk for you people. So you need milk, I am here. I give you milk. I give you a product. I produce beef for you. I produce bananas for you. And somebody transforms it into a processed product. So me, I'm a farmer. The manufacturer processes it into final product or changes a bit like starch and so on. But then we need services, which is the third sector. Services like hospitality, a hotel. Where did you sleep last night? Did you stay in a hotel here?
Hotel Uganda.
Where?
Igongo.
Igongo.
Yes.
So now that man, Igongo man, is not like me, who is producing milk, bananas, beef. For him, he's providing a service. Me, I'm producing a product, a good, but for him, he's producing a service. Transport is service. This border is services. Abayimbi, like Bebe Kur and group, they don't produce bananas like me. They just eat, they don't know where the bananas come from. But they provide what I don't do. This is to entertain us. Music, football, sports. Sports is a service. You can also have professional services, medical. If I go for treatment, That's a service. I was going to die. This man brings me back to life. And it's a service. The witchcraft, if you're a witch doctor, he pretends to provide a service. Pastors who preach the gospel, that's a service. So this is the third sector. Now, the fourth sector is also really part of sector 3, but I prefer to separate it. This is ICT. The computers, the what, because they are providing some other new types of service. For instance, this is what they call BPO, businesses processing outsourcing, where I am an accountant here in Mbarara, and I do accountancy work for a company in the USA, and they pay me, I send them the work over the internet, and they pay me. So I prefer to separate ICT a bit to make it a separate sector. But really it is part of the services sector, strictly speaking. So therefore, when you say how can we come in, I don't think there is economy, any sector which is outside these four. I don't think so. If you know any, tell me. But for me, I think these are the four sectors of wealth creation. In some of the countries, if you take, and this is where you are very lucky, you fellows, and this is why you should wake up, get out of sleep, because sometimes you go into sleep, into disorientation. People give you these stories, those stories, but me, I'm here to tell you the reality. Some of the countries are not as lucky as us. If you take Japan, there's no way they can engage in commercial agriculture because they don't have the land. So for them, they don't have. So for them, the only economy they have is the knowledge economy, sharpness of their engineers. So here we have got everything. All these sectors we can perform in them: agriculture, manufacturing. We have our own raw materials, services. We have everything is here. So when you say where we the GenZs can come in, you can come in wherever you want in the fourth sector.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. President.
And by the way, I have got some GenZs here also in-house.
We clock that in.
My grandchildren, they are your group.
They are very unstoppable.
They are already very active with the commercial agriculture, some of them, very active. So all those sectors are there for you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. My name is Sandra Lian Navichi. I'm a TV host as well as omuyiribi. I'm a hustler. Njiribireyo downtown n'ebintu bingi nnyo kwegamba buli ekinsala mu maaso nkiyiriba kasita kiba nga kiriko akasente. So, Mr. President, ngenda kutandikira ku kyogeddeko ekya agriculture, and we really appreciate you so much ngaba youth. Nti otaddewo ebintu ebyenjawulo okuba nti naffe tubyenyigiramu. But bw'otunuulira number of youths abasinga tetulina yadde tampeko y'ettaka wensobola okutandikira okugamba nti nyina ekintu kyenteekawo okutandika okulima oba okugyamu ssente. So with that, tugenda okufuluma okuva mu universities oba dropouts, anything like that, nga tolina wootandikira ng'oluusi companies ezitukozesa zigamba twagala abantu balina experience of which wakafuluma essomero. That means nekyosomeredde kyennyini oluusi tokifuna. n'ofundikira ng'olina kuba muyiribi nga bwendi n'ogamba nti nkedde ku makya I've created a business n'ogitandika ne ka capital k'oba oyiyiza either okwewoze mu bank n'otandikawo ekintu kyo. So as time goes on okula n'otandika okusuubula okuva ebweru okusobola okugaziyayo business, but then nekifundikira nga emisolo gisusse ate nga akantu ke wandifunyeeko kafundikira kagweredde mu misolo gye bakutakisinga ku kisaawe nti oyingiza ebintu n'opimaapimamu ng'olaba tekiwera n'okomekerera nga olaba osuubulira bwereere wabula mu loosi njereere, yet nga youth weeyiiza akantu kosobola okuba nga kwegamba otambuza obulamu. Kati mbadde mbuuza Mr. President, fenga abavubuka otutegekedde otya okubeera ng'omusolo guno tegutunyigiriza nnyo ku buntu bwe tutandiseewo nga ffe okuba nti tuganyulwamu okuba busy, kozi otugambye tuyiiye, and you mentioned as something like you should wake up, mulekerawo okwebaka, naye tusula tutunula tuyiriba kiro na misana naye akasente kaganyi.
Kati now Sandra has not heard of a disease called ekikulukuto.
Nakiwulirako Mr. President.
Ekikulukuto Banyankole called it ekyerwiso. In the Bible, there was a woman who had there was a hemorrhage, who was bleeding. This woman was bleeding, until she touched the garment of Jesus, and the bleeding stopped. So the problem with African countries and other backward countries is the problem of ekikulukuto. Ekikulukuto, bleeding, the hemorrhage. If your business is in imports from outside, then you are helping the hemorrhage of your country. Because if they are importing this shirt is made 100% from Uganda. Now, in making this shirt, Uganda benefited a lot, because we started with the cotton, which brought money and jobs for some Ugandans who grew the cotton. Then it went into a ginnery where they removed the seeds and separated the fiber. It's called ginning, ginnery. That's more money, more jobs, more jobs. Then it goes into spinning to make a wool. That's more money, more jobs, using our electricity. Then finally, weaving the yarn, the thread into a garment, and putting the colors, and then tailoring. So you have got like almost 6 job levels. A kilo of cotton is like $1. But that same kilo, if you import it, if you export it as cotton at that stage, you will get $1. The country will get $1. Then but by the time from 1 kilo, you can make like 4 shirts like these ones. And the total value of those is like $15. So what you donated, you talk of donations, the biggest donators are the African countries. They donate wealth and jobs to the outsiders. Because when you export that unprocessed cotton, you'll get only $1. But besides, all the jobs will now be done by the other people. You have donated the jobs. So we are saying, this is now the hemorrhage. So therefore, when we make our shirt here, and Sandra wants to bring a Chinese shirt, we say, no, sorry. Either don't bring the shirt, or if you bring it, pay tax. This is the tax you are talking about. This is the tax to stop hemorrhage. So if you want, but Sandra, I will give you a good business.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You come here and buy my bananas and take them to Kampala. There will be no tax. Because for internal distribution, if you buy maize from Chiboga, you buy sim from Achori, there will be no tax. There's no tax on internal distribution. There's no tax even on agriculture. There's no tax. But we tax you, the agent of Echikurukutu. Because your mission is to turn us into a supermarket. We are going to put for a supermarket, Yabarara. And we don't accept that. We say, no, we are not a supermarket here of foreign products. We are a productive society. So that's how you face those are the only taxes, import taxes. They are the ones you are talking about. So you cannot say, Sandra cannot say, munzi sewa nange. Mbade ndaka business kange, kokore sanduko z'abafu, naye kati abantu tebakyafa nnyo, n'olwekyo munzi sewa nange, leka abantu bafe, so that your business of coffins is a bad business.
So what's the good business?
There are some businesses which should be discouraged if possible. And it is only, in this case, it is only import business. Import, not imports. In fact, up to now we are still liberal because we are only taxing imports of consumer goods. Not medicine, not machinery, but consumer and luxury items. These are the ones we tax. So this is in order to okusigaza omusayi gwaffe ekikurukuto okukomya ekikurukuto. This is why our economy is growing. And when you say it will grow by 500 billion, it is because of this. Because remember, instead of one job level for cotton, we have got 6 job levels. And all that money is staying here. Jobs are being created. They are using our electricity. In the sati genyamba de wano, amasanyalaze gaffe gagikola. Eri jojo China, amasanyalaze gaba China gagikola.
But then lastly, Mr. President, thank you so much for that. Naye waliwo kye tuwulira nti foreigners are given taxation holidays. Kati nga n'oluusi gwe ky'otunda naye ky'atunda n'ofundikira nga gwe oli muloosa ate nga bo bakola. Is that true?
Now, very good. Abaana bankoze bulungi bannange. Okundeeta mu bazzukulu mbagyemu oluhumbo nolwezi kyo mu Luganda. Oluhumbo.
Tujjeko ekifu ku maaso.
Okay, you can use that one also. You can use that one. You see, there are measurements of economics. One measurement is called GDP, gross domestic product. This is the measurement for all products produced in Uganda, whether by Ugandans or non-Ugandans. Kati mwe mukola ensobi nimugamba nti ekolo ly'omu China tumuba batuufu kasita ekolo libeera wano lya Uganda. Singa Museveni agenze China nazimba yekolero togenda kugamba nti ekolo lya Uganda. If Museveni builds a factory in China, that factory is not a Ugandan factory. It is a Chinese factory built by a Ugandan. So therefore, all the factories here, all the production here is really ours. Katombantu ababiri waliwo mu China azimbye ekolero wano. Azimbye twaranga yazimba ekolero lya ceramic tiles zebakozesa mu mayumba, amategula waki ceramic tiles zino zebateeka mu mayumba. We were importing those. Can you imagine? This man builds them here. Ate waliwo Sandra akyasaka enviiri z'abafu ebweru.
Anti fete tulina nviiri, Mr. President. Tulina kaweke.
Kati ku bantu ababiri omuntu akolede amatofali wano what do you call those tiles mu lulimi lwaffe? Tiles zebateeka wansi mu mayumba.
Kisigalayo tayiro.
Okay. So China has made tiles here. Now Sandra is importing dead people's hair from I don't know where.
China.
So who is better for Uganda? Who is better for Uganda in terms of echikurukuto? Remember the hemorrhage. Who is the one who is conserving our blood?
The Chinese.
And who is the one who is facilitating akasente katibaletu akajja mu mwanyi kalina okuddayo okusasulira enviiri z'abafu. This is madness. It is sickness. That's why Africa is... Uganda is strong. That's why people are worried. When you see these people who are talking, these so-called candidates, you can see many of them are working for foreign interests. Because they fear. They can see us that in the city muzibe wa maso. Ndi wano. Ate n'amaanyi munange. Kubanga sisaka mmere njirina wano. Ebyokozesa ebikula ennyo tubirina wano n'emmotoka tutandise okuzikolera wano. So this is the chikulukuto now. Please remember the hemorrhage. Okuswara, to be ashamed, you should be, you Gen Z, nandiagade musware, feel ashamed. The GDP of Africa, the whole of Africa. Africa is 12 times the size of India. You can put India into Africa 12 times, size-wise.
You're watching ITV. Your visions, our voices.